everybody. So we just got our third episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so today I'm going to give my thoughts on it. So the way I'm going to structure this review, like I have my previous reviews, is I'm going to give a non-spoiler general thoughts on the episode. Then I'm going to do a spoiler review where I just go through more specifics of what I liked, disliked, my thoughts on specific things in the episode. And then I'm going to give my predictions for the rest of the series. So this episode is another great episode. It has good action, good banter between Sam and Bucky. We get some new information about the plot. The plot moves forward. We get some old characters brought back in a new kind of context. And, yeah, there's not really much for me to say in this portion of the video, just my general thoughts. I just really enjoyed it. It was, again, solid, great episode, good addition to the series, and I think it sets up some interesting stuff moving forward. Now, let's get into some spoilers, specific things throughout the episode that I want to talk about. So, start off, I want to talk about the Flag Smashers. Get a little bit more information in this episode. We find out that the leader girl's mother died. I think that's what their relationship was. That they were mother-daughter, so her mother died, and then we're seeing more information of, like, you know, they're working for the power broker, who we also get a little bit more information about in this episode. I'll get to him in a second. But we find out they're working for the power broker, and they kind of stole the super soldier serum from him, and now the power broker is going after them, and we see kind of a shift in, from, like, previously they were just kind of doing what they had to do, you know, ends justifying the means, but, like, not, like, actually doing bad stuff, just doing, you know, what needed to be done, but not, like, anything, you know, bad for the sake of being bad, except we see that shift at the end of the episode when she blows up her car, killing a bunch of people in the building. And we see her friend is, like, he's not okay with that. He doesn't want to, you know, hurt people just to hurt people. He's in this to, you know, actually do good in the world. And so far, that's meant having to do, you know, illegal things, break the law. But he didn't want to actually hurt people, and she does that. So you're seeing kind of a conflict happening there between them of, like, you know, she's starting to go too far with the whole thing, and he doesn't want to go as, you know, he doesn't want to go that far with it. So I thought that was interesting. That's kind of just a small plot line in this episode that we just kind of go back to a few times throughout it, just like 3 or 4 times throughout the episode. Now I want to talk about, as I mentioned before, we got the more information about the power broker in this episode. He was name dropped at the end of last episode. They were like, oh, the power broker's men are after us. The Flag Smasher girl said that. So, you know, we got introduced to him sort of last episode, and we get more information about him in this episode. As I said, he's kind of behind the Flag Smashers, or the Flag Smashers used to work for him, and then they, you know, broke away and they stole the serum from him because he was trying to recreate the super soldier serum with the scientist Nagel, who I will get to in a second. And so we just got sort of just like, we haven't been introduced to him yet, but we start kind of, you know, we're starting to hear about him as, like, he's kind of the main villain, and we kind of have these minor villains as, like, the Flag Smashers, who I guess aren't really villains as much as, like, you know, anti-hero group. Like, yeah, they're not really, you know, villains, but they're kind of not doing the greatest of things, and they'll probably end up turning good by the end of it, or you know, it'll be like a compromise between what they want and what the rest of the world wants. So I'm sensing that Flag Smashers, they were presented as the main villains. They're not really, and it's actually the Power Broker who will be the main bad guy of the series or season. So then I'll just move on to John Walker. He's another plotline we kind of don't get a lot of him this episode. Just kind of the beginning and end. Just kind of seeing at the beginning we see he's trying to look for the Flag Smashers, not having any leads, not having much luck with this. So then the whole episode happens pretty much, and then we get him in like the third to last scene where, or fourth to last scene where he's finding out Sam and Bucky helped Zemo out of prison, and so he's deciding, alright, I'm gonna go off the books on this one. That's just how I'm gonna have to deal with this. I can't be, I'm not gonna get permission to do this, so I'm just going off the books now. So that's interesting. That's kind of his whole plotline in this episode. Just these kind of two scenes, just kind of showing what he's doing. And so with those kind of side plot lines out of the way, let's get into the big plot line, starting with Zemo. So we get at the very beginning of the episode, Sam and Bucky, they go see Zemo. Bucky talks to Zemo. Zemo's like, hey, I got information about Hydra, about the serum. You're gonna need me if you're gonna, if you're gonna find out more about this whole thing going on with the super soldier serum, you're gonna need me. So they end up, Bucky, without Sam's permission, ends up breaking Zemo out of prison. That's the intro of this episode, is breaking Zemo out of prison, which I thought was pretty cool. And then we get kind of, for the whole rest of the episode and following, and I guess for the rest of the season, we'll have Zemo with Sam and Bucky searching around, figuring out, more information about the Flag Smashers and the Super Soldier Serum and stuff. So that was cool. We get kind of have to infiltrate, have to go undercover to meet this person, Selby, not Shelby, Selby, and, find out, again, information about the Super Soldier Serum. They go undercover. We get this funny scene where Sam has to drink a very disgusting drink, because that's the guy who is being undercover, that's his favorite drink, apparently, is, it's like something from inside of a snake is in the drink, so, disgusting, and kind of get this funny and kind of disgusting moment where he has to drink that. And I think that Zemo was used, I was surprised the way they used Zemo in the episode, and I guess the way they're going to use him in the series, is because I thought that it was kind of going to be like a one thing, like, we break him out, he helps them with something, and then he ends up escaping, and he's kind of a villain in the show as well. But I guess it's turning out to be, he's kind of just going to be working with them for the entire show, and, he'll probably by the end of it, he'll escape, and, to be a villain in future movies or TV shows. But it seemed like in this series, he's just being, the guy who was a villain, having to team up with the heroes to, kind of like the enemy of your enemy is your friend type deal. So, that's kind of cool that we're using Zemo in that way. That was very surprising. And speaking of kind of surprising ways that they've used previous characters, that was a weird way of saying that, but I'm just trying to say, I'm going to talk about Sharon Carter now. She's our other character that returns from Captain America Civil War, and, I was also surprised how they used her. I was expecting her to be kind of, as an agent, kind of, being on the job, trying to, recapture Zemo, and that's how she runs into them. But no, she is on the run herself because of what happened in Civil War, which, I was expecting that, that wasn't a problem anymore. But, yeah. So apparently she is still in hiding, and she cannot go to the United States anymore. So she's in hiding where they had to go to see Selby. She's there in hiding as well, and so they run into her, and we get this cool fight scene with her, fighting the bounty hunters when Sam and Bucky and Zemo were talking to the scientist Nagel. We get a really awesome fight scene with her that was kind of in the trailers too. Very cool. Cool to see her in action, and we're setting up Sam is going to get her part in, like, Bucky. So, that's cool. That was an interesting way they used her that I wasn't expecting, so that's cool. So now let's move on to our scientist guy, Wilfred Nagel, who is behind the new super soldier serum. I've mentioned him a few times in the video so far. So, you find out he was Hydra, and then he got hired by the CIA to use some of Isaiah's blood, and, Isaiah from last episode, the government had Isaiah's blood, so he was hired to study Isaiah's blood and find trace amounts of the serum in his blood, and so he did. He found a sufficient amount of the serum, and he used that to recreate and improve upon the super soldier serum, making it so instead of, getting somebody, really bulked up when they get it, instead, it just is heightened strength without any outward physical changes. So, that's interesting. So, it's like, it would be like, if Steve Rogers got it, he wouldn't have become big, buff guy. He would be still skinny, but really strong. So I thought that was really interesting that he was able to do that. I think that's kind of just a way to, not have to cast really, like, fit or muscular actors to play super soldier characters anymore. You just say, yeah, they got the super soldier serum, and, they're just super strong and stuff. Now, they don't need to look like it, so, but that's still, it's a really cool new concept with it, and apparently he was working on that. Our scientist, Nagel, was working on that, and then Thanos snaps, he gets dusted, comes back 5 years later when Hulk snaps, and the CIA is like, oh yeah, we're not doing that program anymore, and now he's out of a job, and so Power Broker comes in like, hey, you over there, maybe you can come over here, and I'll be happy to fund your super soldier serum research. So he's like, alright. So he creates the super soldier serum for the Power Broker, who gives, well, then the Flag Smashers steal the super soldier serum from him and use it on themselves. That's where we're at now. And you find out that there was 20 vials of it. So there's at least 20 people who now have the super soldier serum, and that's dangerous. And so now I want to move on to the scene in the plane that I'm not sure I understand. Like Sam and Bucky were talking about, like, the shields and, how Sam should have destroyed the shield instead of giving it to the museum, and I don't really know. I wasn't really completely following the scene. I've watched it twice already. I still am not completely sure I know what they're talking about or what they mean. I guess what they're saying is, like, the shield, it represents the mantle of Captain America, and keeping that mantle has hurt a lot of people. It's hurt Sharon. Like, because she stole Captain America's shield, she had to go into hiding. And because Captain America existed, Isaiah was a test subject, and he was held captive for 30 years, having his blood tested, and it's kind of because of Captain America, in a way, which, I don't know that I agree. It seems like they're, like, going after, like, Captain America, or the mantle, like, I don't think they're going after Steve, but they're going after, like, the mantle of Captain America, the concept of Captain America, which I'm just like, I see if that's what they are actually going for. I could see that a little bit, but I don't know that I agree with it to the extent that they want me to, so I don't know. Either I don't understand what they're saying, or I don't agree with what they're saying, so I don't know. Maybe if I'm completely wrong with what they're saying, please put in the comments below what you interpreted it as, but I interpret it as them saying, like, somehow Captain America there shouldn't be the Captain America mantle, and that's caused all this trouble, which, in a way, yeah, it has, but I don't know, it just seems like, I mean, I think over the course of the series, you're gonna have Sam end up, getting to the point where he decides to be Captain America, and like, fix all the mistakes that came from, like, have come from Captain America, not necessarily Steve, but from just Captain America. I don't know if that's what they were saying in the plane scene or not. That's how I interpret it is, and I'm not sure I totally agree with it. So yeah, just comment below if I'm completely off with my interpretation. But yeah, so anyway, let's move on. Final moments of the episode, we find out a Wakandan warrior's looking for Zemo because he killed their King T'Chaka, so they're not too happy about that. They're mad at him, so they're after him, and, Bucky sees a vibranium ball on the ground that they, I guess, were using to listen in, and so he figures out, there's a Wakandan here, and goes finds where the Wakandan is, and so yeah, so now we find out Wakandan's looking for Zemo, and the episode ends. And so now I want to get into my predictions. So I don't really have that many predictions for next episode, besides just kind of obvious ones that we're gonna get. Probably a fight between the Wakandans and Zemo, and we're probably gonna get that scene from the trailers with when he's standing in front of the memorial, because that's where they said they're going. So I assume that'll be next episode. We'll see that. We may also have when Bucky is dropping the bullets in front of his face. That may happen next episode. And those are pretty much my predictions for next episode. And just for the rest of the series, I still stand by my prediction that Sam is going to get the Super Soldier Serum. I feel like to introduce this way for Sam to get the Super Soldier Serum and to not do it would be really weird, especially if you're having him be the next Captain America. I feel like it would be weird to, have him not get the serum. And you could even have a nice parallel with Isaiah with that. So yeah, so I definitely think Sam's getting the Super Soldier Serum, he's going to become Captain America, and he's going to save his family's boat. So, those are my predictions for next episode and for the rest of the series. And we're also halfway through the series at this point, or the season at this point, which is kind of crazy. Like, I feel like it literally just started and we're halfway through it. We only have 3 more episodes left. And then we're going to have to wait till Loki. So, that's kind of sad. But, whatever. We still have 3 more episodes, and I'm sure they're going to be amazing. And so, please comment below your thoughts on the video and of Falcon the Winter Soldier so far, specifically the 3rd episode. And remember to give this video a like, consider subscribing, and check out some of my other videos. With that said, that's a wrap.